13th Street, Northwest, Washington, D.C., man. Just walking. Just walking, just walking, just walking. Remembering the 90s, remembering the mid 90s, man. Reminded of a good family friend, a guy with a clean heart, man. During that time, me as a teenager, once again, I know everybody said, bro, you just was just this teenager, you was just a teenager. These are the stories that it kind of like still give you something to think about. The townhouses, right? In the mid 90s, everyone was trying to get their hands on these townhouses. Now, I almost want to say they was up in here somewhere because they have done so much on this stretch. Now, in the mid 90s, it was a thing for the average young man, whether you was out in the streets or you was just still going to school, you was going to college. I think these were the townhomes, right? Every young man or their baby mom probably wanted to live somewhere up in here because these was like the new developments in Northwest, right? But long story short, this gentleman, he got him one. And again, man, in the early 90s, in that era, if anybody can remember, right, really wasn't no one safe. You know, when you hear stories, it wasn't no one safe. You either was gonna, be one of those ones who didn't care. You didn't mind letting no one know where you laid your head at. You wasn't tripping. If somebody was gonna get on your line, during that time you knew what you had to do. But it was frowned upon, and it still is now to this day, to really, if you are in that world, to actually let someone know where you laying your head at. That's why during that time, many guys had different apartments. Many guys took different directions going home. Many guys chose not to take women friends that they just met somewhere where they actually have to lay their head. But this individual here, man, probably never expected no one to actually run up in his house while he was there. And God had mercy on him that he's still around. So long story short, if you get where I'm going, someone, ran up in his house, tied him in his at this time I believe it was his girlfriend, tied him up. Of course, was looking for money, and I believe they got it, but his life was spared. But it's a word to the wise now, and nothing changed from the 90s till then. To any young man who's getting money, who like to just flash it on social media, who like to brag about it. Hey man, it's still wolves out here, man. And when them wolves come, they don't want to hear nothing. They don't want to hear, oh man, I was just on social media, just man, don't nobody want to hear that, man. Don't nobody want to hear that. So still to this day in 2026, you got to be careful what you're doing. I mean, man, that's real talk. See, us on social media, man, we just get so out of touch with reality. It's to the point when we start doing weird things. But it's okay if you never had nobody to tell you better, right? If you just one of these beginners who just started getting money or just started, smelling another way in life, I mean, it's okay. But please, if somebody is talking to you like, hey, young man, man, that's not the way you want to go. You got to stop that, man, because like the stuff that you see online now, during the mid 90s, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it in the mid 90s, man. You couldn't do it. You couldn't take people where you live at. You couldn't take a female you just met in the club and show them where you live at, because, man, you never know. That might be your last run. That might be your last run. Now, I remember going to like Kirkbone parties and stuff like that, man. You know, just hanging and with guys older than me, and it was a specific woman. Her name was Bobette, man. Bobette name is what it is because she looked like a doll baby, right? She's I don't know if Bobette is Ethiopian or anything like that, but I didn't know nothing about Bobette. I didn't, I just, all I knew was her name, and all I knew was she was going to get who she wanted to get it. Whether if you was a man and she knew you had some money, she was going to get on your line. But a certain guideline she wanted to get on, he wouldn't allow her to. And I used to always wonder, right? I remember one day, it was so bad, we just had left a party. I almost want to say it had to be a Kirkbone party because he was the only one throwing parties. I was a young teenager, man. This woman chased this homeboy. I don't know where Kurt had the party at, but she chased this guy all the way to Route 50. All the way to Route 50. And all I can remember is him saying, hey man, some of y'all follow me. And she was on his line. But I was always wondering, like, man, this is a pretty young lady. Like, what's wrong? The guys who she was affiliated with, if you know, you know, they didn't want no parts of it because they knew, like, even if I was to date her or, I couldn't do nothing with her in the nation's capital. I got to take her out of town, right? That's how crucial the gentleman that she was attached to, that's how crucial they was. So, and it's still to the day, right? A man will put a woman on you real fast and you wouldn't even know it. All you know is, man, this woman is feeling me, and before you know it, that's your life. Morning, how you doing?
Morning.
Hey, how are you this morning? How's it going? You okay?
Looking for affection.
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm a little too much. The eyes are green just a little bit. That's a boy or girl? Boy, you okay?
Yes,
how you
sir.
doing? I see you later on. Have a good one, sir.
Old, but
Okay.
fine.
Still hanging in there? I see you later. I'll see you later. All right, have a good one. All right. So that's a word to the wise, man. Just be careful out here. Young men, young women. You sometimes find it strange that someone is interested in you, man. Just you gotta always keep your antennas open, man. I'm gonna leave you with that, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to yours. Even before Airbnb, right? You had to take females like Bobette, Tish, Pepper. You had to take them out of town, man. You had to take them to resorts in Florida, right? And just have fun. Just rent whole big old mansion houses type of stuff. And you had to have fun there. You had to have fun there. You was just a little more safer. But it's not to say, well, what those dudes was about. Was they spending money? Those dudes of that age and that era, they was just a little smarter, right? They was just a little smarter. But yeah, man, y'all got shipping up. Just shipping up just a little bit, man, because it's definitely not a game out here, right? And